Okay, so morning everybody. Let me know when you join, and I'll just move the phone a little bit. You can see the mat a little bit better. That's better. There we go. Okay, so hiya Amy. There we go. Okay, hiya. Brilliant. So we're going to start off today by lying down, and if you want to make any comment, just to let me know that you're there, and then we can start. It's a little bit cooler today, so maybe we can do a little bit more. We'll try and do a little bit more lively practice today than we did last week, because last week was very, very chilled out for that heat wave, and now hopefully we're getting that a little bit more energy going, and we can just about manage to do that a little bit more, but still honouring the fact that it's quite heavy out there. It's still summer, still in August, so let's not go too mad today, okay? Anybody joining, just start by commenting and lying down. And I will show you lying down, although I find that it's not the hardest thing to do. It's actually nice and easy, allowing yourself to let go into the mat. Usually the hands are a little bit away from the body, and if you can have the palms facing up, it just means that they're open and they're receiving to the universe. If we put our hands back down, you may notice that you feel that little bit more closed. And you might even want to experiment just so that you get that feeling of, are you feeling more open? How do you feel when you have the palms facing up? Do you feel a little bit less relaxed when you have the palms down? Or maybe you feel safer, you feel a little bit more protected, more enclosed. It just might be that you're not ready to turn the palms up. And just experiment with that a little bit. And the feet as well, have them nice and open. Usually about the mat distance is really a nice distance apart. So again, you can really allow yourself to relax. And you can start to observe your breathing. And this is something we don't do a lot of. You're breathing all the time, but the question is, how are you breathing? What is the quality of your breath? And I think that's going to be really important now over the coming weeks as we gradually come into our autumn months and then counting down towards winter. We want to think about our breath now that we can get outside and we can get fresh air, making the most of it, filling our lungs with fresh new oxygen, oxygenating our whole body. So are you breathing using your nose, or maybe you're breathing using your mouth? Become aware of that. Ideally we want to breathe through our nose, but if you think about it, if we can't breathe through our nose, obviously we're going to breathe through our mouth, because that's another option there. And I don't know about you, but I find I'm breathing through my mouth when I'm wearing a mask. And so thinking about how we breathe and when we're wearing masks and when we're not, I think it's going to be something we really need to think about now. Something I'm going to look into and research. So there's no judgment. You do what you need to do. Your body will always be getting the oxygen that it needs, one way or the other, because that's its job. But you want to get in good quality breath. And the good thing about the nose is that it's designed to take in that breath so that your nose has a filter in a way that your mouth doesn't. So we're going to breathe in and see if you can notice the belly rising now, and the ribs and the chest. And if you want to take one hand to the belly and one to the chest, you can, just so that you can notice the belly rising as you breathe in. And falling as you breathe out. And there is that space between each breath. It's a small space, but it's that still place. And you want to become aware of it. Start to notice that space. And this informs your yoga. So you're going to continue that breath, if you can, a 3-part breath. I'm just going to bring myself up to sitting just to have a look and see if there's any comments and how many people are maybe joining us today. Helps to have an idea of who it is. Brilliant. Okay, great. So I've got Emily, Alpa and Jean at the moment. I can see you all there. And hopefully you're lying there, relaxing and letting go. Each out breath, you're letting go that little bit more. And feel yourself letting go into the earth. And then draw energy up from the earth. The earth is there supporting us. It's underneath us. It's supporting us all the time. We're drawing energy and nourishment from the earth. And at the same time as we're doing that, you can also let go into the earth. You can release anything that's no longer serving you. And that's what you're doing, is you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Each breath being important. Each breath being precious. It's our life. I've got Alex there as well, great. So a few more lying down, relaxing, using that breath as your focus. Noticing how you feel with the arms out, palms up, or palms down, feet open. Always knowing that if for some reason it's not for you to lie down, you can do the same thing sitting up. But just make sure you've got a nicely straight but relaxed spine. You want to have that flow of energy as we would when we're sitting up in a minute. You can maybe use the wall to relax against. So just a few more breaths like that, just allowing anybody that's joined us to allow themselves to center for a short while. And then we're going to take the legs together and the arms into the side. And the next time we breathe in, we're going to raise both our arms all the way up. And at the same time, see if you can point your toes so you're getting a lovely long stretch of the whole body. And then as you breathe out, see if you can lower the arms and flex the feet as though they're flat against the opposite wall. And we do that with one breath, breathing in. And one breath, breathing out. So it's that same breath, breathing in, pausing, and breathing out. A nice natural flow, using now your arms and your legs so that you're getting movement into this. And it's much easier now to follow your breath because we're actually moving with the breath. And it could be I'm going a little bit fast because I'm not following my breath anymore. And it could be that I'm going a bit too slow for you because your breath is perhaps a little bit shorter. So you're not following me, you're following your own breath. And make that next one your last one. And now the next time we breathe in, raising the arms, pointing the toes, but you're going to take your right knee into the belly and you're going to give it a squeeze. Squeeze it in. And then you're going to slide it down. All the way down the mat, breathing in and then breathing out, taking the other knee into the belly, a nice big squeeze. And then really sliding that leg down, straightening up the legs, lifting the arm overhead and getting ready for both your knees, 2 knees now, into the belly, a nice big squeeze into the belly. And then if you breathe in, if you just release the knees slightly and get ready for another out breath, this time squeezing those knees into the belly and maybe taking nose to knees as you do this, Uttanasana. And then releasing the head all the way down and then sliding those legs down, breathing in and then breathing out again, taking knees into belly, squeezing those knees, nose to knees again, and then releasing head down, but taking the hands to the knees and making some circles around now, circling the knees out to the side and in, and rolling along your spine so that the spine starts to get a really nice massage. And then the other way, releasing the other way. And then just taking the feet down to the mat, knees are about hip distance apart. Take the arms out to the side and rolling your knees over to the right and then over to the left. And you can start to do this quite energetically because this is like a windscreen wiper effect. You're just allowing the knees to go one side, the knees to go the other. A little rotation here of the spine as you do this. And it feels really nice to do this on the spine, the back, releasing the back a little bit there. And in a moment, we're going to come back with the knees into the belly. But just do a few more, enjoying that movement. And then you can bring the knees into the belly and then roll yourself over towards your right side and use your hands to bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seated position. Redo my hair here. And then bring yourself to sitting. And remember, you can always use your block or your cushion perhaps underneath your buttocks there so that you can tip the pelvis down and back a little bit. And then sitting nice and comfortably. And it can be cross-legged, it can be half lotus. Again, just take a few breaths here, centering yourself. You might want to bring the Ujjayi breath into it, where you're breathing in. And then as you breathe out, it's as though you're sighing but with your mouth closed. And it gives you that snoring and that narrowing of the throat. You should imagine we do that very easily when we are asleep because we're really relaxed. But we have to think about it a little bit more when we're awake. So a few more. 3-part breath, Ujjayi breath, or normal breathing if that is easier for you to do. And if you're a little bit confused, but just becoming aware of your breath. A few more. And then we're going to interlock the fingers and take our hands so that we're resting our chin on our hands and have a go at doing pigeon breath. And it's a good idea to watch me first if you're not sure of this one, and people do usually get quite confused with this, I find. So the idea of this is to actually expand and get the breath to each part of your lungs, and you'll feel that breath doing that as you take these movements. So I'll show you here. So that was pigeon breath to really feel that expansion. So I'll talk you through it now if you want to do it with me while we're talking it through, and then we'll do 3 rounds of it after that when hopefully everyone knows what they're doing. So you start, fingers interlaced underneath your chin. You're going to breathe in. And the wings are lifting. And as you breathe out, you bring the wings in. And you're blowing through the mouth. So it's a breath out through the mouth. And then you just breathe in again and bring yourself back to center. So just normal breath there. Okay, so we're going to do 3 like that. So remember the breath in to begin with. And then the breath out is through the mouth. As you're tipping the head just slightly back. And you're bringing the arms down like wings. So this is thinking your pigeons. So the pigeon wings and the cooing as you blow out of the mouth. It's as though you're blowing out. Okay, so it's breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So 3 from here, breathing in. Breathing in. And the last one, feeling the oxygen filling up your lungs, every part. And releasing back and down. It gives you just a feeling there of really filling up the lungs and breath being so important to us. And we'll just start doing our seated warm-up now, taking our right hand down, our left arm up, lift it up, look up towards that arm, and then look underneath the arm as you come over and down. Breathing in again as you lift, touching down, breathing in again the other side, looking underneath that arm. Maybe you're bending the elbow, you're feeling that stretch along the right side. Breathing out as you come down. Breathing in, lifting up. The length is important, and then bringing yourself over. Breathing out, feeling that stretch. Side stretch along the left side. Lifting up again, length. And then releasing down. So one more both sides. Breathing in. Touch down with both hands and feel the earth there. Get ready to take your right hand to your left knee, other hand behind you. Use the knee as the lever as you take that twist. Can you feel the twist at the center? Are you still breathing? Are you thinking about length as you turn? It's getting that little bit more into that stretch around, that twist. Come back to the center. Left hand to right knee and the twist in the other direction. Looking behind, still continuing with that twist. You might be able to go a little bit further. And then coming back to the center. Just notice which foot is on top. So I've got my right foot on top here. Chances are you maybe have as well. And then walking your hands down in front of you. Just maybe a stretch out here, keeping the buttocks on the mat. Or maybe walking the fingers a little bit further, maybe bringing the head down. Breathing into that. Maybe taking fists, one hand, the other hand. You're going to get the forehead onto the fists. Okay, so this is what you want to do. You don't want to be like this because there's no point in that. If you're like that, then just simply take the arms out. That's absolutely fine. Breathing into that. I'm going to use a cushion as well to bring the floor up towards the forehead. And then you bring your hands back. You take the hands behind you. You open up your chest and you look up a little bit towards the ceiling, and you might even want to come up to the knees. Make sure the knees are though on the mat, and then releasing yourself back and down. You've got your right leg on top, so you're going to stretch the legs out, give them a little shake and a wiggle, and then you're going to bring the left foot on top now. So it will feel a little bit strange as you do this. And again, resetting and then bringing yourself down, forward fold, just the stretch, maybe a little bit further. And you're going to feel this now as being quite different and probably a little bit harder because that side is not used to that so much. And again, you might want to take fists, one on top of the other, head resting, breathing into that. And then bringing yourself back, taking the hands so they're supporting you, maybe coming up to your knees again. And then coming back to sitting, taking the legs out, give them a nice shake out again. Shake those legs, give them a shake. Let the feet flap a little bit, little kick, taking the legs out, give a nice big stretch, push those knees down and flex the feet so that the knees are strengthening, and then point, flex, point the feet, flex, point, flex and point. A little circle of your ankles around one way, circle the other way. Give a wiggle of your toes. Can you isolate the toes? And then bringing your right foot onto your left thigh, trying to keep the left leg nice and active, nice straight spine here. And we're just going to do a quick rock the baby from side to side. You know that you can take that foot in and maybe take that leg up a little bit higher as you take that rock from side to side. You might even be able to bring the toe all the way up towards the mouth, and you might even be able to kiss the toe. So that's called kissing the baby, but you don't need to do that. You just work your way to that. And then releasing your hand to your shin. Take a few little rotations around and know that you can stay there or come into the foot and making nice big rotations around, opening up those hips one way and then maybe going the other way, a little circle around the other way, and then release that leg down. Give a little tap from the top to the bottom, heel of the hand coming down and through and out through the sole of the foot. See if you can get all the way down to that sole, all the way to the toes, so that you brush the sole of that foot, and then release that leg out and do the same thing with the other side, taking the foot to the thigh, readjusting a little bit, getting that length, thinking about this core pulling you still all the way up towards the ceiling, opening up your hip just that little bit more, maybe a different one side to the other. And then you can take your hand to your foot and give a little rock side to side, rocking the baby. Same thing if you want to come into the elbow, you can. Make sure it doesn't compromise how you're sitting, and make sure you're not forcing it, you're not straining yourself. You're only doing it if you feel you want that much more of a stretch, and you're gradually working the foot up towards the mouth. It's not something you're forcing. It's not a party trick you're trying to do. Just maybe you'll notice the more you do this, gradually you'll just get there. Or maybe not. And if not, that's fine, because your body just doesn't want to do that. And then releasing your hand to your shin and making bigger turns if you want, and perhaps taking the hand to the foot so that you can make nice big rotations. And if anybody has trouble with this because they have hip issues of some sort, simply go forward and back. Forward and back. That would be your choice there. And then go the other way, coming in, taking these rotations of the hip. So you can always do different things. And then release that leg out. A tap from the top to the bottom, really nice to relax the legs, heel of the hand, all the way out and through, out through the sole of the foot, all the way to the toes. And then release those legs, a nice big shake out, moving ourselves from side to side. And you don't have to touch down, you can just rock from side to side, side to side. Or you can touch down and you can support yourself as you go completely over to one buttock and then to the other. And we should be raising our energy levels a little bit here now as we do this. So make sure you're breathing here, make sure you're not hitting into anything. I hope you've got plenty of space around you, or enough just for your mat anyway, and so that you know that you're safe. And then coming back slowly and bringing yourself now to your hands and your knees, going to go into our cat-cow, and just starting with your flowing cat, flowing any way that you want to go, and maybe even coming down quite low, and maybe going forwards and coming then all the way back. So your choice is here. You could actually take yourself all the way forward from here and come into an up dog, and all the way back, or you just could continue with that flow around any way that you want to do this. Just try to keep the hands underneath the shoulders so they're not moving around, and then the other way, going around. And if you want to go forward and back, just do that. If you want to carry on with that flowing cat, go on with that flowing cat. If you are joining me going into your, this is the extended child, and this is your up dog. And you might want to actually see if you can now lift up the thighs and release back and down. So your choices are there always. Lifting those thighs. So it's much stronger. You're also using the wrists more there as well. Just playing around with that. And then coming all the way back onto your buttocks and taking the feet, their knees apart, so that you can stretch yourself out through the centre. And you're here in your swan, breathing into that. And you know that you've got your choices there. You could always have the buttocks into the air so that you're not coming back onto the heels. And you could take down your forearms and bring your head down like this. You might want to use a block underneath your head. You don't want the head to be dangling like this. You want the head to be down. Apparently this one is a really good one for actually clearing out the lungs. And they've been using that in hospitals. It's the position apparently they're putting the patients into. So it's worth knowing that one. And then bringing ourselves back if we're maybe trying that one out. And then bringing yourself back so that you're tucking the toes under, you're pushing down with the hands. And we're coming up into our down dog now. Pushing the heels down, and you might adjust your feet just a little bit so that you can now make that lovely triangle shape. Sometimes this is called Princess in the Mountains, which is much nicer than down dog, I think. And you can walk the dog by bending and straightening, alternate knees. You can bend the knees and then you can push back and down. And that was me cracking. So that's all got to be good. You can really bend those knees and then come back and push down. So it really is actually getting those joints now moving a little bit. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards our feet, hanging down. You can bend the knees here if you want to. You can straighten them. You can bend them. You can feel that stretch, the backs of the legs. You could be hanging here. You could touch alternate elbows as you hang down. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Try and get the weight coming over towards the toes rather than hanging back. And then releasing the hands. We're going to come all the way up to standing, breathing in. And lifting ourselves all the way up. And taking a nice big stretch when we get there. Doing a few activations, and as I said today, it's not so hot, although as I said it's still heavy, but you should be feeling perhaps a little bit more energetic today. So first get a few nice stretches going, and then taking your shoulders back and up and down and around a few times, and then rolling one shoulder and then the other. So we're going for a little walk. You're going to bend the knees, alternate knees. And you can roll through the soles of your feet there. This nice movement around. Get some nice movements going. You don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing with the activations. The great thing is there's no right, there's no wrong. And then start to let the arms swing around you. You can open up the feet just that little bit more, so that as the arms swing, they just do a low swing to begin with. Do check for furniture here. And then you can start to raise the arms that little bit more and allow them to swing when you know it's nice and safe to do so. Then let the arms have their own momentum as they swing around. Make sure that the feet are lifting a little bit one side to the other, so that you can really get that nice big twist going, warming up the body in a way that is nice and natural, just a natural movement. And then taking the arms around above your head, so you're making a circle around your head. And then bringing yourself down, and think about turning this wheel around you. From one side to the other, one side to the other. Can you start to just take a little bit of a stretch over as you do this, nice and naturally, and you're lifting the foot just slightly as you go, so that you can go a little bit further and you can really feel this. And then let the arms swing from side to side. And so you may be limited with furniture, you might have to turn sideways or something like that. But you're just letting this movement happen in the arms. And then you're going to do 1, 2, and a loop. Okay, so it's a 1, a 2, a loop. 1, 2, loop. And then just continue doing that. So it's the 2 movements, a loop. If it's gone wrong somewhere, don't worry about it. Are your arms moving? Are you getting that movement going? That's all that really, really matters. 2, and it's on the 3rd one you do the loop. 1, 2, we go for the last loop around, and then releasing hands. Give a little shake out your hands, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, and then the whole body. So allow it to bounce, and you're going to bend the knees as you do that. Make sure the knees are nice and soft. Everything is just moving now. And then start to let the arms swing forwards and back, forwards and back. We can start to breathe in as we open up, breathe out, fearless flight. So we open up our chest, and then we bend the knees a lot, and we come down. We're moving from the hips as we go down, and we follow our breath. Really nice if you're outdoors to get that, again, that lovely fresh air really deep down and into your lungs. You're lifting, you're breathing in, and you're breathing out. And just lift up one more time. Stretch up all the way to the sky or the ceiling, as though the hands are flat on that ceiling. And then take a stretch over to your left. You're holding onto the wrist. And you lift up. Stretch over to your right, holding onto the other wrist. Lifting again. Circling the arms around. Lifting up. Breathing in and opening up again. And then breathe out. Hands together in prayer, down and through the center, coming all the way down. Hands onto the floor, stretch those legs. So now you're getting a hamstring stretch. And then breathe in and lift yourself all the way up. So breathing out, down through the center. It's like Surya Namaskar. Straightening those legs. And breathing in as we lift all the way back and up. Opening up those arms, stretching them back and up to the sky and down and into your heart, taking the shoulders back and down. A little bit of a shake out side to side, weight going over to your right, little kick of your left leg and then of your right leg. And then we're going to take a little slap all the way down your legs, one side and then down the other. Sorry, I'm just looking at the screen just to see if there's any messages there. Little circle around the belly, just to do this in clockwise direction. And then a little tap of your kidneys. And we're going to just tap underneath our collarbone, either side. Do a nice tap there. And then down our sternum, the bone running down, the breastbone running down the front of your body. And then just a tap of the shoulder and just down the arm. The fingers, being careful of your joints, a little clap as you come back and up. And then we'll do the same the other side, just the outside. You can do this quite a few times, it's up to you. But we're just going to do it the once. And then coming back, a nice big shake. Breathe in, opening up the lungs. So breathing in and breathing out. Down. So breathing in, and it's a breath out through the mouth. Breathing in, and we'll do that one last time. The feet maybe a little bit wider this time. Breathing in, and really out through the mouth, hanging down over your legs. A little shake from side to side, and then coming all the way back up. Breathing in. And breathing out, taking your hands all the way back and down, standing there in your mountain pose. And we're going to move into EBR, to the energy block release, and just flow through that, because this is a sequence that allows you to flow and brings into it some nice asanas. So starting in our mountain, shoulders back and down, allowing that energy to settle just for a moment or two. Feet are about hip distance apart. And then if you take your right arm over your left, you're going to breathe in and breathe out. Opposites, left over right, lifting and circling around. Shoulders again, getting this movement. Breathing in, breathing out. Alternating, hands in front, arms in front. And thinking about your breath as you breathe in, breathing out as you circle around. And imagine that you're lifting layers one after the other from you. As you make these circles, it's like a series of jumpers being pulled off. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to do one more with the left. Breathing in. And breathing out, and then take the hands down. That was your breath vajana. Take your hands now together to the heart. You're going to move into the lotus. This is chair of the heart, but doing the lotus mudra to begin with. Breathing in. As you lift up, you're going to take the fingers, middle fingers apart, and keep the little finger and the thumb together, and then you come back. If I come closer, just in case anyone's not too sure of this, breathing in as you open up and draw up, breathing out and come back and down to the heart. So we'll do that one more time, lifting up, breathing in, and lift up those hands all the way up above your head, breathing out to the heart. Stay here, any high blood pressure issues, but you might want to, or heart issues, but otherwise take your hands to the crown of the head, and we're bringing that same movement into the chair pose. So we breathe in and you're going to sit in your invisible chair. You're growing the lotus up, you're feeling that stretch up, and you're coming back and to the crown. Breathing in and breathing out. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. So you're bending the knees as you do that. You're sitting in your chair. Okay, coming back to your heart here, and we're going to do the same thing. Breathing in, you bend the knees, you lift up. But now what we're going to do is we're going to turn ourselves to the right, keep the knees forward, taking our elbow, so it's our left elbow onto our right thigh, and then your hands are together in prayer, so you're looking over your right shoulder. And this is really much more intense. This is a variation of classic chair. And if you wish to then take your left hand down, peel your right arm up, open it up, and you can push with that the left arm rather, onto the thigh, the right thigh, just so that you get more of a twist, trying to keep the knees forward. Just remember that you don't have to do all the variations, you can stay with the easier ones if you wish, and then you come back. We lift ourselves back up to standing, hands to the heart, get ready to do the same thing the other side, breathing in, coming into your chair pose, hands are opening into the lotus, and then bringing the elbow over, right elbow onto the left thigh now, and again, bend the knees, take that twist over as you push the hand onto the thigh, rather, the elbow onto the thigh. You can open up that little bit more, so you start to move around, but the knees are staying as forward as you can, and then you can open up if you wish, taking the right hand down, the left arm up, and again still pushing onto that thigh so that you get a little bit deeper twist, and you're still sitting in that invisible chair. You're breathing into that, and then coming back and to the center, and bringing yourself back and to standing, allowing the hands to come back and down, shoulders back and down, lifting the little finger back now, and then pushing the thumbs back, coming into your Bollywood arms. These are the shoulder rotations, coming around forward and back. And I know this one is quite strong on the arms, so you might want to keep the arms lower. For some people that is better, but anybody that feels fine with it can challenge coming up, allowing the arms to come up to the shoulder height, and it will still be quite strong, so you will find that actually your arms might start to ache a little bit, but just think about how much good you're doing there. As long as you're not getting pain, then actually you're challenging and you're really releasing all the knots that are in your shoulders, where we hold all that tension. And you're thinking, rather than, oh, this is aching on my arms, you're thinking, look how beautiful I look. You're thinking Bollywoody arms. As you do this, you're thinking about the fingers separating and the shoulders rotating, and then taking both hands down. You're looking towards your one side and then towards the other. So probably right is first, I did left, but because I keep forgetting this mirroring thing. It's different on Facebook than Zoom. So you're starting to go from side to side, and then we can go heel to ankle as we do this. It's a little bit of a balance. We're not going to do tree today. So this is the nearest you're going to get to tree. And if you are just hip distance apart, you shouldn't have to move the feet. You just lift up the heel, alternate heels, and that makes it look all the more beautiful. And you're smiling from one side to the other. So not too much concentration, you're just letting that movement happen, and then releasing both hands down, all the way down, allowing the arms to swing, a little bit of a shake out there, and then bringing the hands into your heart, breathing in, and then opening them out. Anahata breath, breathing in, breathing out. Are you keeping those knees nice and soft as you do this movement? Think about energy collecting at your heart and energy being shared out with the universe. We have to fill up with love and energy before we can share it out and spread that energy around. So think of the focus at the heart, concentrating it, and then releasing, allowing it to spread and to fill the whole earth with that love, that compassion, taking yourself in, coming back, and releasing. And then taking the arms out, feet a little bit wider. Going to take a rotation to one side and come back, rotation to the other side and come back. And then you can actually start to turn, touching the shoulder so it becomes deeper. And then if you wish to turn your foot all the way around so it's pointing against the wall, and the other foot lifts, and then you take a rotation around and you get a twist. Nice spinal twist one way. Again, I think I've stopped mirroring you, so you should probably go to the right first, but we do it both sides, so it doesn't really matter, so you can just follow as long as you're going both sides. There we go. And take that twist around, breathing into that. And then coming back and to the center, taking the hands down, resetting for a moment, taking the thumbs, they're pointing outwards, the fingers are pointing inwards, the thighs and the knees and the whole leg is about that hip distance apart, so that you're resting fingers in, and then you can start to breathe in. And we're doing what is really a standing version of cat-cow. It's a spinal wave, breathing in as you lift the head up slowly, arching the back down. So the back is lowered inwards. And then as you arch it the other way, reversing, you breathe out. Come slightly more to standing. You're using the hands to support you, and you're getting these lovely flowing waves. And lovely for the spine, breathing in, using that breath, thinking about the breath, vertebrae by vertebrae, breathing out you arch. And then bringing yourself back to the center, getting ready to now take your right elbow down, and then you're looking over that side. So right is down, left is up, and then back to the center, and then to the other side. Looking over the left shoulder, and then to the other side. So again, a little bit of a twist going on here, and your hands are the same, being supporting that back. And then releasing yourself back and all the way up to standing. We have a go at doing the heaven and earth twist now. Hands out in front, and I usually teach this standing so that we can start by taking the right arm all the way along the inside of the arm, breathing in as we lift up and uncurl, and then folding like a wing back and down. Hands are in the center. Keep those in the center so that you keep that twist as you lift, and you curl in and you run the hand down the arm. And then you can open the feet nice and wide. You could use a block if you've got one, or a chair in front of you if you wish, or you could take the hands all the way down to the mat. So feet are nice and wide now, taking your left hand and your right hand into the center, and then running the right arm up along the left arm and opening it up and getting a much deeper twist, and then curling that arm back and down, touching the arm as you go down, breathing in as you come up to the other side, and really think about lifting up to the sky, heaven, connecting yourself back and down to the earth. And you know that you can come all the way down to the mat, you can bend the knees a little bit if you need to, you can breathe in as you lift up, breathing out as you come back and down to the other side, lifting, heaven and earth twist, taking that arm back and down. So we'll do it one more time, wherever you are, breathing in, lifting, get that lovely stretch, opening up those fingers and then curling them in, taking them down the inside of the arm, left to the other side, breathing in, lifting all the way up, taking that stretch, curling that arm in, coming all the way back and down, hanging down there, and then releasing yourself up, coming up to standing. Feet are still nicely apart, so stay like this, and then bending your right knee, allowing yourself to come over to that thigh, so you're taking a stretch out of the left foot is still pointing inwards here, and then go to the other side. So you can go from side to side here, and this is a standing version of this stretch. Really nice one to do, really good for most people because we're standing. And then we're coming over to that right side again, and if you want to take the left foot so that you're coming onto the heel and turn it so the toes are pointing upwards, it's lifting, and you're looking over, and the getting a nice stretch in a slightly different way there. And then to the other side, coming to the left thigh, lifting, turning the right foot so that it's now pointing towards the wall, and the toes are pointing towards the ceiling, or if you're lucky enough to be outside the sky, and then you come back. Okay, continue with that, or bringing the feet together, bringing yourself down into a squat, taking the hands either side of your right foot, your right knee and thigh, and then stretching out the left, taking the toes so they're pointing forwards, the foot is flat on the mat, and then back to the center, and then to the other side. This is your option coming down. Remember, you don't need to do that. Coming back to the center, and then the next one, doing that stretch, so you're lifting the foot so that you're stretching along the leg there, trying to keep the other knee forward. Mine was moving there, and then coming back, whoops, and then to the other side, last side, turning that foot to the other stretch, and then coming back. Okay, so those of us who are in a squat might even want to do a little wave here as a balance. Those of you who are still up want to bring yourself back to the center, and then you're going to roll yourself down, and if we're down in a squat, we can just very gracefully allow ourselves to come back onto our bottoms so that we are now sitting on the mat, knowing that was the most difficult bit, giving a little shake out to the legs, a little bit of a wiggle of our toes, hands either side of our hips, drawing in our right foot, and give a shake out. And then the other one, breathe in and shaking it out, and a shake out there. Okay, so we'll do that a couple more times, just sort of flick, breathing in, and flick on the breath out. And again, one more, both sides. And releasing a nice little wiggle of your toes, and taking now the soles of the feet to the mat, keeping the knees so they're about hip distance apart. Going to come into our forward fold. Movement is from the hips. You can be on a block or a cushion if you wish, if that works better for you. Breathing in as you lift up, breathing out, and coming down and over your thighs from the hips and circling along the legs. Breathing into your heart, breathing out as you come down and over. And you can start to slide the legs down as you do this, but try to make sure that you're keeping the body as you come up, down and over onto your thighs. There shouldn't be a gap there. If you continue doing that, I'm just going to do it sideways to see if people see it better. So you breathe in, come up, over, and then over those thighs, but you're keeping the body. So the movement is from the hips and the body is staying supported by the thighs. And you're thinking again about the heart, because this is very heart focused, all of this. And you could maybe slide the legs all the way down, but only if you can actually get your body onto your thighs. So you don't want to be doing this. And when you finally finish, you can relax over your thighs, just allowing yourself to relax, breathing into that. And then drawing ourselves back up to sitting, and then taking the feet so that they are in a diamond shape. I'll just turn around so you can see me again, and we're going to move ourselves into butterfly, lifting up, breathing in, and you can breathe out. You can take your hands around the toes and just stretch yourself forward from the hips, breathing into that and pushing down using the elbows there. And you can then take the thumbs and open up the balls of the feet like a book either side, and take a little flap over your knees as you push up and down. You're not forcing it in any way. And then drawing out your left leg to the side, right foot into the top of your leg, into the thigh, taking a turn over to your left leg, the outstretched leg. So allowing yourself to come down, slowly taking the stretch out. You might want to bend the knee if you need to. You can touch the hands on the feet if you want. It doesn't have to go that far. Just breathing into that. You're trying to stretch along this leg, the left leg. Bringing yourself back and up. Taking left foot to the top of the thigh, stretching out your right, lifting yourself up into the center again before you take the turn. Remember, you can bend the knee, coming down over that leg, and then just allowing yourself to relax into it. Coming back up, taking both legs out now, and lifting yourself up first, breathing into it so that you could have your block or whatever underneath you if you need to, so you're tilted slightly, lifting yourself up, and then taking just a nice stretch down over both legs, just allowing yourself to come down to whatever point feels nice for you. So you're not straining, and you might be able to get your index finger hooked around both toes. And you're just feeling that nice stretch out in both your legs. Movement there from the hip. Breathing into that. And then lifting yourself back and up. You're going to move yourself down now towards the mat and towards Shavasana. You can be nice and ready with anything you need, like cushions. I don't know if you need blankets or whatever, depending on where you are. Going to come back to lying down, taking those knees into your belly, taking a few rotations again here on your spine, bringing your feet to the mat. And really good idea to have your cushion or your block in between your thighs here. I'll move myself slightly further forward just so that you can see me here. And because what you want to do is to keep those thighs hip distance apart still, feet hip distance apart. should be that when you click your heels together, they should touch, and then you can open them, moving on the ball of the feet. And try not to squeeze the cushion or the block. It's just being held there because it's just that distance. Take the hands to the side, and the feet should be not too close to the buttocks because we're going to do a flowing bridge here. We're going to breathe in and tip the pelvis back and then back and down. Tip of the pelvis coming back and coming back and down. So it's a forward, back and down. And then we lift up a little bit higher, breathing in as we take that roll along the mat before we lift up. And you're trying to use your core rather than your glutes. So try not to squeeze the glutes. You can keep everything nice and relaxed. You're just bringing yourself up into that flow, one vertebra at a time. Head should be flat on the mat, so if it's on a cushion or anything, do make sure that it's not. You need to have it flat. And you're pushing back and down. And you're doing this each time a little bit higher. Breathing in on the upward movement, breathing out as you come back and down. But think about buttoning each vertebrae into the mat. Head is straight, you're not turning it. So hopefully you're following my voice rather than looking. And you're going up that bit higher each time, breathing in and breathing out. So we're going to go as high as we feel we can next time. Breathing in, so we're to the highest point. Kind of hold that for a breath. And then breathe in, arms coming up and over and behind you. Breathe out, you're staying up, the arms are coming down. And then breathe in again so that you're ready with the breath out, coming all the way down, buttoning vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the tailbone. Release that block or cushion. Take the hands now so that they're out to a T shape. Bring the knees into the belly. Roll them over to your right side. Belly twist. Taking the head over towards the left. And perhaps you're going to take the top leg over. Get a deeper stretch there. And you breathe into this now. So this is one where we hold it. And we breathe. And we enjoy that lovely belly twist. Remember, it can be gentle, it can be deeper. You're trying to push the shoulder of your left side down onto the mat. And bringing yourself back to the center, rolling yourself over, going to the other side. And again, you might want to straighten that top leg. You might just want to use the hand and pull the knee over slightly. Try not to have the leg dangling. Be relaxed in it, but feel that deep twist. And breathe. Keep the breathing going here. And then bringing the knees back into the belly, taking the hands in between, taking the hands to the feet if you can get there, pushing the knees back, soles of the feet towards the ceiling, and you're in your happy baby. Little rock from side to side if you want to do that. Keep pushing those knees in towards the underarms. Keep the soles of the feet so they're flat onto the ceiling. And then if you want to straighten one leg and then the other, you can. And you can straighten both your legs if you want to get a nice stretch along the legs, the hamstrings. And you can still do that rock from side to side. Just notice the differences in those movements. Doing what feels good for you here. And then bringing the knees into the belly. And then taking the knees apart, opening them up. And then bringing yourself into a lying down, a supine butterfly. Hands can be to the side. Or if you want to touch opposite elbows over your head. And just relax there for a moment and see how you feel like that. So you're in a lying down version of butterfly, and you can let gravity work so that the knees are gradually opening up, breathing and relaxing. And you might want to stay with this, and if you do, that's really fine. If you want to take the arms down to the sides, sometimes I find that everything goes a bit numb if I leave the arms over my head, so maybe bringing the arms down to the side, and you might want to stay there in your butterfly, or you might want to bring the knees back up and release the legs down, slide them down. Go back into where we were at the beginning, into your just nice relaxing Shavasana. And if you want to have cushion under your head, you can. If you want to bring in a bolster or anything so that the knees are resting on that, you can. Whatever suits you, whatever feels good for you. Just show you, if you do have a bolster, it's a nice thing to have because you put it underneath your knees, and I'll just show you how I usually do that, just so that you can see it. It is really nice to do. Could be a rolled up duvet, I think would work probably just as well, really. So I bring myself down like this, and it's really relaxing. Again, think about palms facing upwards rather than downwards if you're okay with that. And relax. So again, we're focusing on your breathing, and I'm going to bring myself back up to sitting. You can stay there. We've got 10 more minutes. Oh, Shavasana now. Enjoying that feeling of letting go. Noticing how your body feels. Notice any differences. Notice the flow of energy. Has it changed? How do your joints feel? Do they feel nicely loosened up? The energy can flow around them naturally. Taking your attention down to your feet. Going to flex the feet. Push the heels towards the wall, the side of the room, and the toes pointing up, and then release. Letting them rest naturally. Again, pushing, pointing, flexing, and releasing, and letting the feet relax. Feet are relaxed. Ankles relaxed. Calves and shins. Depending where your knees are, if you can push your knees back, the backs of the knees into the mat again, and then release, do so. Pushing back and releasing, relaxing. Knees are relaxed, thighs relaxed. Come into your buttocks. See if you can squeeze those strong glute muscles and then release. You're squeezing, releasing, letting go. And the buttocks and the hips are relaxed. See if you can now push the lower back into the mat and then releasing it. Again, pushing and releasing, and the lower back is relaxed. Moving up the spine towards the middle and upper. Shoulder blades. Can you squeeze the shoulder blades together? And you're lifting a little bit from the mat, and then you're releasing. Again, squeezing, lifting, releasing. Shoulders, shoulder blades. Lift your shoulders up, lift them, circle them, take them back and down, and they're relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Coming down to your arms, all the way down to the fingers, and then curl the fingers in, making fists of the hands, stretch the arms out just a little bit to the side, lifting about an inch from the mat, and then relax. Allowing the fingers to curl in naturally. Again, curling the fingers, squeezing into the hands, fists of the hands, stretching them out, lifting, And releasing any last bit of tensions have just dissolved away into the earth. Belly, ribs and chest are relaxed. Your head, little turn from side to side, side to side. And then relaxing, allowing the head to rest in alignment with the body. Head is relaxed, whole body relaxed. Mouth making some circles around now, one way. Circling the mouth around and the other. And then just releasing the mouth and the jaw, feeling relaxed. See if you can visualize now a thread either side of your mouth, and your mouth is curling up naturally into a smile. And that smile is spreading to the whole face, and the whole face now is glowing with that smile. And then just in your mind's eye now, lifting that smile from your lips, taking it down to both feet, printing the smile on your feet, allowing the smile to fill your feet with that relaxing, warming heat. And then let that heat flow along your feet and through your ankles, into your calves, your shins, your knees, thighs, buttocks and hips. Whole of your legs now are feeling that glowing warmth, relaxed. Lower back, spreading along the spine, up into the shoulders, flowing down into the arms, all of the fingers, whole body relaxed, arms relaxed, belly, ribs and chest, and then into the neck and up and into the face. And the face is glowing with that smile. Whole body is feeling lovely, relaxed, letting go into the earth. And knowing you've got a few moments now to enjoy this lovely feeling of relaxing and letting go. So allowing yourself to relax now. Enjoying that lovely feeling, affirming to yourself, I am relaxed, I am relaxed, I am. So now we've got the golden glow of the sun, and it's just above the crown of your head, and you can feel the warming rays of the sun now just touching the crown of your head, and you're drawing that golden sunlight into the head and allowing the lights and the energy to flow through the head and down and into the neck, and then down the arms, the shoulders, flowing into each finger. Each finger now is feeling that energy, that light, that golden heat. And then light and heat is swirling its way around the chest, the ribs and the belly, all the way down the shoulders, along the back, down the spine, into the hips, the buttocks, and then invite that warmth and heat and energy down and into the thighs, the knees, shins and calves, ankles, soles of the feet, tips of the toes, whole body now is feeling energized. It's feeling that lovely glow, that heat, that warmth. You're feeling amazing and fantastic, full of energy, full of life. See if you can enjoy that feeling of energy, tingling and light, whole of your body. And then start to think about the breath getting a little bit deeper, becoming more aware of your physical body on the mat, and thinking about moving your fingers, your toes, taking a lovely big stretch of your arms, and perhaps taking the knees into the belly, and getting ready to roll yourself over to your right side. And when you get there, staying there in your Shavasana just for a few moments longer, enjoying the feeling there of those last moments of relaxing, and letting me share with you the thought that we've got for this week. And this month is all about growth, and I think we've definitely been through a transformation, and we're getting ourselves ready to grow and to, I don't know, get ready for whatever is going to be coming in the coming months. We really don't know, but we're feeling ourselves growing up like the lotus, up and out, and up to that sunshine in the sky. So the thought this week is, love dies only when growth stops. Love dies only when growth stops. We're always growing. And think about growing your relationships this week. We often take our closest relationships for granted, but all relationships need nurturing. This week, invest in one special connection. On a piece of paper, write down one way in which they enrich you, one way in which they support you, and one way in which they accept you. So this could be your family, your friends, but some relationship that you feel does that supporting. It is about enriching, supporting and accepting. And you could even do some nurturing of that person, and perhaps sharing how those people help you with them, so they know how valued they are, and they know how important they are to you. So that is your task for this week, if you choose to accept it. You're going to think now about coming up to sitting, using your hands, bringing yourself up to your nice, comfortable seated position. And when you're there, rubbing your hands together, and you can point the hands downwards towards the earth, thinking about the root chakras and the support that you get from the earth, the Muladhara chakra, and then taking your hands up and pointing them up towards the sky and up towards the crown chakra, maybe over your head, raising that energy up, and then taking the hands back and down into the center, hands over your eyes, removing glasses if like me you're wearing them, bathing your eyes in that warmth, opening your eyes in the darkness. Little massage here of your third eye, Ajna chakra, between your eyebrows, a little bit higher, your forehead, your temples. Think about that cooling tapping of light raindrops around your head, and then hands all the way around, down the body, all the way to the sides of your body, earthing yourself into the ground, and then taking the hands back to your knees. Finishing, if you wish, to join me with an Om. Om. Hands to the side, breathing in that golden light, and then taking that as you breathe out into your heart. Namaste. The light in me recognizes the light in you. and thanking you again for being with me. I really do appreciate it, and love knowing that you're out there and we can share practice together. Hopefully I'll be seeing some of you, I think, in the week at the park. Remember, I've got morning and afternoon, and there's the booking system. It's up and flourishing, but if you just need to email me any problems or whatever, let me know. But it's very useful if everybody can, at the very least, register on that, so that I have all your details there. That's good to have rather than having it in paper on, at the park. And also that we get the booking systems working, so that I can be using them really efficiently and brilliantly on my new website in the autumn, which I'm getting ready for lots of things in September. I'll let you know quite soon what's going on, and be sending out another MailChimp to you all, just letting you know. The other thing was talking about a book club, if anyone is interested in that. So we'll be using How Yoga Works as the book, and that links in with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And there is actually on my website already the worksheets that we used a few years ago, and I'll just be building on that. So that's what we'll be doing anyway. So lots about that. I'm hoping I'll be getting that all done in the week now that it's cooled down. And thanking you all again, and if you want to make any comments, please do. Let me know any questions either here or email me. By all means, do that. See you all. Bye.